Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to talk about Nikola Tesla, his life story, and his amazing inventions. Nikola Tesla, the man who saw the future before it existed. A world history story by the perfect professor. Part 1. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world slept and silence ruled the land, one man stood awake, his mind illuminated not by candles, but by visions of a future the rest of humanity could not yet imagine. Long before electricity flowed freely through cities, long before radio waves carried voices across oceans, long before the modern world understood the power hidden within invisible forces, there was Nikola Tesla. He was not merely an inventor.
He was not simply a scientist.
He was something far more unsettling to his own time. He was a man who lived in the future, trapped in the present. A birth marked by lightning. Nikola Tesla was born on the night of July 10, 1856, in the small village of Smiljan, in what was then the Austrian Empire. That night, a violent thunderstorm tore across the sky. Lightning struck repeatedly, illuminating the darkness with blinding flashes. The midwife, frightened by the storm, reportedly declared the newborn child a child of darkness. Tesla's mother calmly replied,
"No,
he will be a child of light." Whether legend or truth, the symbolism would define his entire life. Tesla was born into a family shaped by intellect and imagination. His father, Milutin Tesla, was a strict Orthodox priest who believed Nikola should follow a religious path. His mother, Duca Tesla, though formally uneducated, possessed a remarkable mechanical intuition. She crafted household tools by hand and memorized epic poetry with astonishing precision. From her, Tesla inherited something rare, the ability to visualize machines completely within his mind. He would later claim that he could construct, test, and refine inventions mentally, without ever touching a tool. And unlike most inventors, he never exaggerated. A mind that could not rest. As a child, Tesla displayed abilities that disturbed even those closest to him. He suffered from intense visual hallucinations, brilliant flashes of light, images appearing uninvited in his mind. Words spoken aloud would instantly trigger vivid pictures, as if reality and imagination overlapped. But instead of weakening him, these experiences sharpened his mental control. He trained himself to master his thoughts. By adolescence, Tesla could perform complex mathematical calculations instantly, memorize entire books after a single reading, speak multiple languages fluently, design intricate machines entirely in his imagination. Yet his greatest strength was also his curse. Tesla could not escape his mind. Education and obsession. Tesla studied engineering in Graz and later Prague, but traditional education could not contain him. He became obsessed with one idea above all others: electricity without limits. At the time, the world relied on direct current, DC, electricity that flowed in a single direction. It was inefficient, weak over long distances, and dangerously expensive. Tesla saw something else. He envisioned alternating current, AC, electricity that oscillated, traveled farther, carried more power, and could change the world. But professors dismissed him. Colleagues mocked him. Industry ignored him. One professor reportedly warned Tesla that alternating current would never work and would lead only to disaster. Tesla never argued. He simply waited. The American dream and its cost. In 1884, Nikola Tesla arrived in New York City with 4 cents in his pocket, a letter of recommendation, a head full of impossible ideas. The letter was addressed to Thomas Edison, America's most famous inventor. It read, "I know 2 great men, and you are one of them. The other is this young man." Edison hired Tesla immediately. At first, it seemed like destiny. But the 2 men could not have been more different. Edison believed in brute force experimentation, trial and error, endless testing. Tesla believed in precision, perfecting ideas in the mind before building them. Edison valued profit. Tesla valued possibility. The conflict was inevitable. The war of currents begins. Edison championed direct current. Tesla supported alternating current. This disagreement would erupt into one of the most bitter technological battles in history, the War of Currents. Edison launched a propaganda campaign, claiming AC was dangerous. He publicly electrocuted animals to demonstrate its risks. He even supported its use in the electric chair to associate AC with death. Tesla watched in silence. He knew truth did not need shouting. Eventually, industry sided with Tesla. AC systems proved superior. Power could travel long distances. Cities could be illuminated. The modern electrical grid was born. But Tesla did not celebrate. Because while the world embraced his ideas, it did not embrace him. The man who refused wealth. Tesla earned fortunes and lost them just as quickly. He tore up contracts that would have made him one of the richest men in history because he believed electricity should be affordable to all. He worked relentlessly, sleeping little, eating sparingly, driven not by money, but by vision. His laboratories overflowed with coils, wires, and strange humming machines. Visitors described him as elegant, polite, almost ethereal, yet terrifyingly intense. He predicted wireless communication, global information networks, remote-controlled machines, renewable energy, smartphones in principle, decades before they existed. The future spoke through him, but the present did not listen. Isolation and decline. As Tesla aged, the world moved on. New inventors took credit. Corporations reshaped his ideas. His funding disappeared. His health declined. He developed obsessive behaviors, counting steps, avoiding physical contact, fearing germs. He lived alone in hotel rooms, feeding pigeons in New York parks, speaking of inventions no one would finance. When he died in 1943, nearly penniless, the world barely noticed. But history would, because much of the modern world runs on principles Tesla discovered. A legacy beyond time. Nikola Tesla did not build the future for fame. He built it because he saw it. He was misunderstood, underpaid, isolated, but never wrong. The man who harnessed lightning became invisible to the world he illuminated. And yet, every time electricity flows, every time wireless signals travel through the air, every time technology bends invisible forces to human will, Tesla's mind speaks again.
Part 2.
A world powered without wires. To Nikola Tesla, electricity was never meant to be trapped inside copper veins. He believed it was meant to move freely, through the air, through the earth itself, without wires, without meters, without ownership. This idea was not metaphorical. It was mathematical. It was experimental. And, terrifyingly, it was possible. By the late 1890s, Tesla had already demonstrated wireless power transmission in controlled environments. Lamps glowed without physical connections. Currents leapt invisibly across space. Observers struggled to understand what they were seeing. To many, it looked like magic. To Tesla, it was simply physics. He believed the Earth itself could act as a giant conductor, a resonant body capable of carrying energy across vast distances. If properly tuned, power could be transmitted anywhere on the planet.
No wires.
No power plants every few miles.
No monopolies.
Energy for all. And that belief would cost him everything. The dream of Wardenclyffe. In 1901, Tesla began construction on what he believed would be the most important structure of his life, Wardenclyffe Tower. Located on Long Island, the tower rose like a monument to the future, a tall wooden structure crowned with a massive copper dome. Officially, Tesla claimed it would be a wireless communication station. Privately, it was far more than that. Wardenclyffe was designed to transmit wireless electricity, enable instant global communication, distribute power freely across continents. At first, investors were intrigued. Among them was J.P. Morgan, one of the most powerful financiers in the world. But when Morgan learned the true scope of Tesla's vision, he asked a simple, devastating question. Where do we put the meter? Tesla had no answer, because there was none. And without a way to control or charge for energy, the financial world lost interest. Funding was withdrawn. Construction slowed. Eventually, it stopped entirely. The tower never activated at full capacity. History would later debate whether Tesla truly could have powered the world wirelessly, but what mattered most was this. The idea threatened existing power structures, and ideas that threaten power rarely survive unchallenged. A man outpaced by his own future. As the 20th century advanced, the world rushed forward, ironically along paths Tesla had predicted. Radio communication emerged, though credit went elsewhere. Remote-controlled devices appeared, built upon principles Tesla demonstrated decades earlier. Electrical grids expanded, all based on alternating current. Yet Tesla himself was fading into obscurity. He did not market. He did not negotiate. He did not compromise. While others patented incremental improvements, Tesla pursued foundational transformations. Industry favored profits. Tesla favored progress. And progress, without protection, can be stolen. Isolation, obsession, and pigeons. By his later years, Tesla lived almost entirely alone. He occupied modest hotel rooms, refusing permanent residence. He developed strict routines, extreme sensitivity to light and sound, and an aversion to physical contact. He walked the same routes daily, counted every step, folded napkins with mathematical precision. Many dismissed him as eccentric. Some called him unstable. Few understood that Tesla's mind had never slowed. It had simply moved far beyond the pace of those around him. In New York parks, he fed pigeons daily. He spoke of them affectionately, claiming a deep emotional bond with one injured bird in particular. This behavior became a symbol used by critics to portray him as broken. But history would later recognize a different truth. Tesla was not disconnected from reality. He was disconnected from society. The government takes notice, too late. On January 7, 1943, Nikola Tesla died alone in a hotel room at the age of 86. Within hours, officials from the U.S. government seized his belongings. Papers, notes, unfinished theories. The FBI labeled some of his work classified.
Why?
Because even in death, Tesla's ideas frightened institutions. Among his final claims was a concept he called a defensive weapon, later sensationalized as the death ray. Tesla insisted it was not a weapon of mass destruction, but a protective system capable of preventing war by making invasion impossible. Whether real or theoretical, authorities were unwilling to take chances. Much of Tesla's research vanished into archives. Some documents were later released. Others were not. And speculation filled the silence. Myth versus reality. Over time, Nikola Tesla became surrounded by myth. Some claimed he invented time travel. Others believed he contacted extraterrestrial intelligence. Still others insisted he discovered unlimited free energy. The truth is more grounded and more impressive. Tesla was not a mystic. He was a disciplined, rigorous thinker whose ideas were often misunderstood because they arrived too early. His real tragedy was not failure. It was timing. The world finally catches up. Today, Tesla's fingerprints are everywhere. Wireless communication, renewable energy concepts, automation and robotics, electrical transmission systems. The modern world increasingly resembles the future Tesla described. But recognition came too late. He died without wealth, without awards, without widespread appreciation. Yet history has a way of correcting itself. His name now stands alongside the greatest minds humanity has ever produced, not because he sought fame, but because truth eventually demands acknowledgement. A professor's closing reflection. Nikola Tesla teaches us something deeply uncomfortable. That genius does not guarantee success. That progress does not always reward its pioneers. That society often celebrates vision only after it becomes profitable. Tesla did not fail the world. The world failed to understand Tesla. And perhaps the most haunting truth of all is this. If he were alive today, he would not be impressed, because he already saw all of this more than a century ago. Part 3. The inventions that never entered the world. When people speak of Nikola Tesla today, they usually mention alternating current, radio, or wireless communication. These achievements alone would secure a place in history, but they represent only a fraction of what Tesla envisioned. Inside his notebooks, many unfinished, many lost, were ideas that even modern science still approaches cautiously. Tesla imagined a global wireless information system accessible to anyone, autonomous machines capable of independent decision-making, energy extracted from natural fields, weather manipulation through electromagnetic resonance. These were not fantasies. They were theoretical frameworks based on principles Tesla understood deeply but could not fully implement due to lack of resources. Unlike inventors who refined existing tools, Tesla sought to reshape the underlying structure of civilization. That ambition made him dangerous, not because his ideas were destructive, but because they disrupted established systems of control. Why Tesla was pushed aside. History often portrays innovation as a fair competition of ideas. In reality, innovation follows money. Tesla did not understand this rule or refused to accept it. He believed knowledge should be shared, energy should be abundant, science should serve humanity, not corporations. This philosophy clashed directly with the industrial model of the early 20th century. Other inventors patented aggressively. Tesla often did not. Others negotiated ownership. Tesla surrendered it. Others simplified ideas for mass adoption. Tesla pursued perfection. As a result, credit shifted away from him. Textbooks favored names associated with commercial success. Corporations promoted narratives that aligned with their interests. Tesla became inconvenient, and inconvenient figures tend to disappear quietly. The erasure from popular history. For decades after his death, Tesla's name rarely appeared in mainstream education. Students learned about electrical systems without learning who designed their foundations. Radio history credited others. Automation discussions ignored Tesla's early demonstrations. This was not an accident. Recognizing Tesla fully would require acknowledging that revolutionary ideas can be ignored. Profit often outweighs progress. History is curated, not neutral. Only later, as archives reopened and scholars revisited original records, did Tesla's role reemerge. Slowly, his name returned, not as myth, as fact. The cultural resurrection. By the late 20th and early 21st centuries, something changed. The world began catching up, not technologically alone, but philosophically. Wireless networks connected continents. Renewable energy gained urgency. Automation transformed labor. Global communication became instant. Suddenly, Tesla's writings sounded less like speculation and more like blueprints. Books were written. Documentaries produced. Universities re-examined his patents. Tesla transitioned from obscurity to cultural icon. But there was a danger in this revival. The myth threatened to replace the man, separating the legend from the scientist. Popular culture often portrays Tesla as a misunderstood wizard, a lonely genius surrounded by lightning and mystery. This image, while dramatic, does him a disservice. Tesla was not mystical. He was disciplined. He followed mathematics relentlessly. He demanded experimental proof. He revised theories when data required it. His brilliance lay not in eccentricity, but in clarity of vision. The true tragedy of Tesla's life was not madness or failure. It was alignment. His ideas required a world that did not yet exist. What Tesla teaches the present. Tesla's story offers lessons far beyond science. It asks uncomfortable questions. How many transformative ideas are ignored today because they do not fit existing systems? How many innovators are sidelined because they prioritize ethics over profit? How often does society mistake immediacy for importance? Tesla reminds us that progress is not linear. Sometimes the future arrives early and waits decades to be understood. A world built on invisible foundations. Every time electricity flows across continents, it follows principles Tesla refined. Every time information moves wirelessly, it echoes experiments he performed before radio had a name. Every time engineers speak of resonance, frequency, or alternating systems, they unknowingly speak Tesla's language. He does not need monuments. He lives inside infrastructure. A professor's closing thought. Nikola Tesla did not fail because he lacked genius. He failed because he demanded too much from humanity too soon. And yet, in the end, history bent in his direction. The modern world did not defeat Tesla. It slowly became him. Part 4, Final. A legacy that refused to stay buried. History does not move in straight lines. It circles back. For decades after Nikola Tesla's death, the world advanced using his ideas without speaking his name. Cities glowed with alternating current. Radio waves filled the air. Automation quietly entered factories. Yet the man who shaped these foundations remained largely absent from popular memory. Then, slowly, the silence broke. Scholars revisited early patents. Engineers traced lineages of discovery. Historians compared timelines and noticed a pattern that could no longer be ignored. Too many modern systems pointed back to one mind. Tesla had not been forgotten because he was unimportant. He had been forgotten because he was foundational. And foundations are often invisible. Why Tesla still makes institutions uncomfortable. Even today, Tesla's ideas provoke unease. Not because they are dangerous, but because of what they imply. Tesla believed that energy could be abundant rather than scarce. Knowledge should circulate freely. Technology should reduce conflict, not amplify it. These principles directly challenge centralized control. A world with freely accessible energy undermines monopolies. A world with open knowledge weakens gatekeepers. A world powered by resonance rather than ownership disrupts hierarchy. Tesla's science was never neutral. It carried ethical consequences. That is why his legacy still resists simplification. That is why his story cannot be reduced to a single invention or a single victory. He represents a question society has not fully answered. What do we do when progress conflicts with power? The professor's lens. Understanding Tesla correctly. To understand Tesla properly, one must abandon two common mistakes. The first is idolization. Tesla was not infallible. Some of his later projects were speculative. Some remained incomplete. He overestimated society's readiness to adopt radical change. The second mistake is dismissal. Tesla was not merely eccentric. He was not a footnote. He was not an interesting failure. He was a systems thinker. He understood electricity not as a utility, but as a language. He understood communication not as wires, but as waves. He understood machines not as tools, but as extensions of human intention. This level of abstraction is rare even today. In his own era, it was almost incomprehensible. A world quietly aligning with his vision.
Consider the modern landscape.
Wireless charging inches closer to practicality. Renewable energy challenges fossil fuels. Global communication networks bind continents. Automation reshapes labor and productivity. None of this would surprise Tesla. In fact, much of it would seem overdue. What would surprise him is not how far we have come, but how cautiously we move, still bound by economic structures he hoped science would dissolve. Tesla imagined a future where technology liberated humanity. We built a future where technology optimized it. The difference matters. Why Tesla belongs to world history, not just science. Nikola Tesla is often confined to the category of inventor. This is a mistake. He belongs to world history because his work altered how societies distribute power, how nations communicate, how economies scale, how modern life functions at its most basic level. World history is not only written by kings, generals, and politicians. It is written by those who change the conditions under which power operates. Tesla changed the conditions. He redefined what was possible, the quiet tragedy and the quiet triumph. Tesla's life contains a paradox. He failed personally, but succeeded globally. He died alone, yet his ideas surround billions of people daily. He lacked wealth, yet enabled entire industries. He was ignored, yet proved unavoidable. This is not romantic tragedy. It is historical irony. Tesla reminds us that recognition is not the measure of impact. Visibility is not the measure of importance. Sometimes, the most influential figures operate beneath the surface, like the currents they study. Lessons from the past. Stories for the present. This story is not about nostalgia. It is about awareness. Tesla's life teaches us to ask, which ideas are we dismissing today because they challenge existing systems? Which innovators are being ignored because their work cannot be immediately monetized? Which futures are already imagined, but not yet accepted? History does not repeat itself exactly, but it does echo. And those who listen carefully can hear the future arriving early, again. Final words from the perfect professor. Nikola Tesla did not ask to be remembered. He asked to be understood. Understanding him requires more than admiration. It requires reflection on how societies treat visionaries, how progress is rewarded, and how truth eventually outpaces convenience. Tesla saw a world powered by invisible forces long before humanity learned how to trust what it could not see. Today, we live inside that world. And that is why his story matters. Not as legend, but as lesson. Okay, that's all for today. See you again in another video. Take care.